Good evening, Sunshine Coast, and welcome to episode 5 of Local Focus. And I'm your host, Darren from Digital Barista, where I serve up freshly brewed content strategies, tips, and tricks to help small business owners and entrepreneurs get started with live streaming. So welcome to the show, and we've got just me tonight, so it's no special guests in, but we've got someone coming in tomorrow night, I'm hoping. I was speaking to them today, and it looks pretty good for tomorrow. So tonight, what I wanted to talk about, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, and how does a Facebook page of 125 likes get 10,000 reach within a week? How does that happen? So I guess that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight, and I think part of that comes from what I would call authenticity and vulnerability. And I have talked about that previously, and we've talked about it with Jimmy and the guys from Been There Done That. So definitely it's something that resonates with me, and that's why I want to sort of get the message out there to a lot of small businesses on the Sunshine Coast, that it really does come down to that. And, doing a live show can be unpredictable. I proved that on Monday night where we didn't have any audio. So, but I was able to fix it up afterwards. And I guess the whole point of it, and someone pointed out to me, because I say this a lot, is done is better than perfect. And that was definitely the case on Monday. So, the worst case scenario is I just shortened the clip and we started again, and away we went. It was all good. So definitely that's something that I want to sort of cover off, is that as a small business, particularly when it comes to social media, being authentic and vulnerable can actually help with your growth. And a lot of us are probably feeling a bit squeamish at this point, thinking, okay, I don't want to be vulnerable. Authentic's fine. Like, everyone wants to be authentic. And if we look at the definition of authentic, it's of undisputed origin and not a copy, and genuine. And there used to be a saying, well, the saying probably still floating about is, fake it till you make it. And that really doesn't work anymore. It really is about being that authentic person and creating those connections. And someone that says that covers this topic really well is Brene Brown. So if you want to sort of learn a bit more about vulnerability and empathy and things like that, then Brene Brown is probably one person that I look up to in that regard. And she said it, vulnerability is, her definition of vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. And that's exactly what we're doing by jumping online, having a chat, and just allowing our audience to get to know us a little bit better. So, because what we're getting, thousands of marketing messages every day. That's just the nature of the beast. And it can be fairly overwhelming as a consumer to be getting just all of this marketing time and time, thousands of messages a day. And it's actually a bit of a relief for your audience when they can actually, stop for a few minutes and have a listen and say, oh, I didn't really know that about that person. Or I've been going to that business for years, and I haven't really known much about the people that run the business. And by doing that, what you're actually doing is creating those connections that we talk about. And that's why, as I've said there, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. So you don't have to have thousands of page likes and these massive audiences. What you just need to do is just be a little bit smarter about how you go about it, and what is the messaging that you're putting out there. So that's what we're sort of talking about, and I think that's what we're creating with these connections with the businesses that I've had in here already, and I'll cover some of the numbers in a minute. But that's all we're doing is just, like I said on Monday night, I didn't know the guys that ran Been There, Done That. And it was really quite refreshing just to be able to have that time with them to understand a little bit more about them. And I think, it helps those audiences connect with you. So that's something that I'm sort of promoting is perhaps rethink your strategy around how you're producing content or whether you're engaging an agency or something like that. There's still place for that, obviously, but I guess, Brene also says when she's talking about empathy, rarely can a response make something better. What makes things better is connection. So, and I think that's, again, the power of what we're doing it is about connection. So have a think about that. That's something that I think is worthwhile implementing into your social media strategy in 2021 is reestablishing those connections with your audience and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and authentic. And it's a little bit crazy what can happen when you start doing that. So talking about the process for local focus. So when we're talking about the process and what I'm offering here for small businesses here on the Sunshine Coast is this program called Local Focus, and its purpose is to establish those connections and show you the power that live video can have. And so I guess what I wanted to sort of talk about is, it's being resourceful as well. So as an example, I don't have thousands of dollars that I can throw at advertising every month to attract people to my business. So I've become a little bit creative as to how I can, get my marketing message out there. And that was what I've come up with, is this Local Focus program. So it gives me the ability to network with a bunch of small businesses here on the Sunshine Coast, which is something I've always wanted to do anyway, but never really, it was probably out of my comfort zone to do that. But this is a great opportunity for me to do that. It's a great opportunity for small business to understand the products and services that I do offer, and it, there's no risk associated with it. So at the moment, like I was saying, these sessions are provided free of charge. So it's a great introduction for small business. Now, I'm not talking medium to large enterprise here. I'm talking small business owners, your mum and dad operators that, not only mum and dads, but you know what I mean. It's the small sort of sole operator, one or two people running a small business, or maybe they've got a few employees, but it's just understanding that there can be a better way that you can do stuff and be more resourceful in how you do it. So the process here is, all in all, it's probably, you're in and out within an hour. So you turn up here at 7 o'clock, we have a bit of a chat, we get comfortable with the surroundings, because for a lot of people, I guess they haven't been in a live environment, a live streaming sort of like studio type environment. So it can be a little bit overwhelming. So we just sort of have a bit of a sit down, a bit of a chat, and get a bit, have a bit of a chat about what we're going to talk about, perhaps, and just get a little bit more comfortable with the surroundings. We go live at 7:30. You're done by 10 to 8, so 20 minutes max online. So you're in and out within an hour. So, I could be met with the objection, well, I don't have time, and all these sorts of things. And I understand people are busy. If you had told me 12 months ago or 2 years ago that I'd be doing a live stream, for my own business 5 nights a week, I would have said you were crazy. Like I was very comfortable being around the other side of the camera, but jumping in front of the camera, oh, that's a different kettle of fish. But and that's perhaps what it's, those excuses that we might put out in front of ourselves are just our way of justifying staying within our comfort zone. So I definitely recommend getting outside your comfort zone. So if we have a look at, I'll just bring up my page there. So let's just break it down and have a look at what's going on. So if we look at there's a video on screen there at the moment. It's a, there we go. Now I can see it. So that was a video that I did with Been There, Done That on Monday night. So in 48 hours, if I have a look at the numbers, 48 hours, we've had 2,300 views. And so this is the power of live video, right? So we've had 2,300 views, but when it was actually live, the max I think we got to was probably 6 viewers live. So the algorithm likes live videos. So as a result of that, what we can see happening is that we've got a ton of reach that we're getting. We're getting an absolute ton of engagement. And as a result of that engagement, that one 17-minute video, so I think it ran for about 17 minutes. That one video has now clocked up 2,700 odd minutes of watch time. 2,000, no, actually, that was earlier. I just did a check before. It's up to 2,900. So 2,900 minutes of watch time for a 17-minute video in 48 hours. And this is a page of, yeah, my business page. It's got 125 likes. And, you know, if we look at the stats, let's have a quick look at the stats. So if we look at the stats, this is for the last 7 days. I don't mind sharing this with you. It'll give you a bit of an understanding of the power of what we're talking about here. So 125 page likes. And in the last 7 days, we've had a reach of 10,000 odd people. Post engagement, nearly 1,500, and a bunch of page likes. So that page likes, if you think about that, that's a 20% increase in 7 days. So admittedly, I hadn't done a lot on the page before, but again, this is just showing you the power of what can be done with live video. So, and the week prior to that, I was actually running some ads. So I was paying, I think it was, you know, it was a couple $100 for the week, and to attract people to the business page. And you can see there that within a couple of videos, I've got the same amount of reach. No, I've actually, that's up 450%. And the engagement's up 1,000%. I would ask the question, why are you not doing live video to your Facebook pages and establishing those connections and establishing the authenticity and those connections? So that's what I would be challenging you to do. And the local focus program that I've got started is the perfect way for you to kick that off and just experience it. That's all I'm saying, is just experience what it's all about. So if you want to find out more about the local focus program, then I've got the address there on the screen now, digitalbarista.com.au/local focus. Does it make sense what I'm talking about there? Like if you're watching me live now, like let me know. Does it make sense? Did you think something like that was possible? Now, it's not just being willy-nilly and posting up some, you know, the odd picture here and there. Like, there is some work involved. But it's not something that's unattainable if you know how to do it. And strangely enough, I have a program for that as well, a free group. So I would challenge you to jump onto the page, register your details for the local focus, and give it a go and get uncomfortable and see what happens. You've got nothing to lose by actually doing something about it. You've got everything to lose by doing nothing and continuing to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So that's my challenge to you. That's it for, it's probably gone a little bit longer. I do apologize. I have gone a little bit over time, But hopefully that gives you some, that's some real proof that this stuff does actually work, and you don't have to have a huge following. Excuse me, you don't have to have a huge following to make it happen. I work on a principle, particularly, when you're just sort of getting started and just getting into it, is it's a principle that they call BOPA. Well, that's the acronym, I guess. It's BOPA, BOPA, and that's borrowing other people's audiences. So I'm providing a service, but in doing so, I'm essentially borrowing your audience to help you, help me, help everyone. It's a win-win for everyone. So jump on board. I'd love to hear from you, and we'll catch you tomorrow night for another episode of Local Focus. Thanks for tuning in, and if I don't catch you tomorrow, enjoy the rest of the week.